Welcome to Implant Outlook, a podcast dedicated to the implant printing industry. I've met a lot of implant managers in my time as editor. Many of them have been in their jobs for decades and may not realize how good they have it compared to their colleagues in the commercial print world. My guest today knows. After 20 years in commercial printing, he joined Vanderbilt University Printing Services a few years ago and got a crash course in implants that convinced him what a great industry this is. I'm pleased to welcome Mike Puckett today, Director of Vanderbilt Printing Services. Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Well, how long have you been at Vanderbilt now?
It's right at 3.5 years.
Ah, 3.5 years. But of course, you've been in printing a lot longer than that. How did you get your start in this industry?
Total accident. I started in big box retailing and did that for about 15 years or so and got kind of fed up with the way that big retail was going. I just didn't like it. I didn't see room for improvement for me without relocating anywhere else in the world. So I jumped into quick copying, like commercial size with the Kinko's Corporation.
Yep.
At that point, I don't know that I've ever even operated a copy machine. Uh,
Yeah.
but my management skills that I'd built over the years really, I guess, made sense with the district manager who was interviewing me. And I really liked what he had to say and felt that there was a great connection. And I thought, hey, we both want to succeed at this, so I'll give it a go.
Yeah. So how long were you in the Kinko's environment?
I was there about 20 years, started kind of at the bottom of the smaller stores and built up. And, by the time I'd hit my 20-year mark, I'd been number one in the company. I've been number six in the company. And it's 1,800 stores. So it was a pretty good
Yeah.
record going there. And then due to some management changes and just the way I saw the company, I just wasn't happy anymore.
So what brought you to Vanderbilt?
Well, like in the article I wrote, I talked about making connections. And when I was at Kinko's, I also concentrated on the people I worked with, not just the people who worked for me, but the ones who my colleagues in other stores.
Sure.
And by doing that, I became good friends with a lot of them. And one of them happened to be Sean Carroll, who left a number of years before me. But we stayed in touch with each other. And then Vanderbilt decided they wanted to reopen their printing services department.
Right?
Sean knew from my skills that, you know what, I'd probably be perfect for the job. And so he gave me a quick call, a quick tour of the place. And I think I said yes before he even made an offer.
Nice. Well, before you joined Vanderbilt, what were your perceptions of implants? I mean, how did you think they worked, and what did you think of them?
I did not have a clue what an implant was. I was so lost, and he tried to explain it to me, and it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it was a reason for that because I'd always been trained to make money, be the best at making money, and that's what I was good at. And then I came here, and all I'm being told is don't make money, but don't lose money. You
Right.
want to make just enough to be able to buy a new machine if you need one. So,
Yeah. That must have thrown you for a loop a little bit, huh?
yeah.
What other things did he tell you in that first meeting that made you realize how different the implant world was?
I would have free reign of what I wanted to do to grow the business. It wasn't hard for me to do because I was starting at the bottom. They were just rebuilding a brand new plant here.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to make all the decisions. My very first decision I made was not the right one, but I learned a lesson from it. My second and third one were home runs.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of worked out in the long run. I would be able to hire my own people, create my own shifts, run my own business, like, and just all I do is report numbers, good numbers that were as flat as can be. So,
That was different than what you were used to, huh?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Any features of working at an implant that you came to appreciate and even prefer over the commercial world?
The fact that the competition and the commercial industry was just outrageous.
Yeah.
And not just with other companies, it was within the same company. I was always competing with the store down the street, part of Kinko's as
Right.
well. And when they learned something or got a hold of something that would work, they would hold it close to their chest and not share it with anybody because they wanted all the glory for themselves. And it wasn't until I went to my first IPMA conference and all the people in there were like me. They wanted me to succeed. They were telling me how to
Hmm.
succeed. They were trying to help me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that was like before. And at that moment, I knew I was hooked.
Yeah, that is quite a big difference among implants, and I love that about them that they are willing to share everything. You can hear an idea that one guy had and just take it home, and it's as far as your company goes, it's your idea. You mentioned IPMA, and I know you went to A Cup this year as well. I mean, what are some things that you took away from those meetings with other people?
Most of it was contacts, but then it was ideas.
Yeah.
And some of the ideas, oddly enough, were coming from some of the vendors. And the vendors, it wasn't necessarily, hey, buy my machine and this can happen. It was, did you know that your machine's capable of this? Did you know,
Uh,
other people are doing this right here? Let me put you in contact with them. And the same with the people that attended the conference. I've made so many friends that I reach out to. Some of them I've talked to daily, some, weekly. And you get this feeling when the roles are reversed and all of a sudden I've got some experience and there's other people calling me for help. There's people calling me that's got 25 more years experience than me, calling me to help them with something, and it's the greatest feeling in the world to know that I'm returning the favors that they've been giving me all this time.
yeah. Well, now, printing services there at Vanderbilt, I know was nearly shut down before the pandemic, and it was a really big shop. I visited a couple times when you had large offset presses there and a much larger staff. But as we heard back in 2020, they realized when COVID started, they were going to need a lot of signage, and so they kind of brought some of the staff back and started doing that. And you came in shortly after that, so I wonder what was the implant like at that time when you first got there?
When I first came in, we had one flatbed printer, an HP FP550, and then a latex roll-to-roll printer, HP 365, and three people.
Yeah.
Um, I had a lease with Xerox for an Iridescent press and at the time a Ricoh black and white press. That's all I had. Those three people ran it for about 2 years. And so I had no idea what an FB 550 was. I'd never printed rigid substrates before, but when I saw the opportunity to start growing it, I did my homework. Gosh, I studied for a year and a half to know what I wanted to buy next. And that's when we jumped in and bought an HPR 1000. I've had that now for a little over 2 years, and it is a workhorse. I feel like I'm a commercial for HP, and that's not what this is intended to be. But my team was comfortable using the software with it, and we have been using that. Now the 550 has gone past its prime. It was about 16 years old, and we finally had to let it go. But we just replaced it last week with another HP R530. So now I'm running with two hybrid printers, and I mean they're nonstop. We don't have downtime. We thought the summer would be a little bit down.
Uh-huh.
Mm-mm. It's slamming right now.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's good to hear from a business perspective, but it must be hard to to keep up.
yeah,
You have how many people working there now?
we have 9.5 at this point.
Oh, so
So,
you built it up from those three that were there in 2020. Um,
yeah.
One of your first moves that you mentioned was sitting down with each employee to talk to them. What did you talk about?
Well, we will sit down, and before we talked about anything with the business, I just wanted to know about them, what was important to them outside of Vanderbilt. I've always done that with any business I've been in because I want to know these people on a personal level. After we got to talking, some people may be, interested in antique cars or working on a farm or they love cooking or something like that. It gives me an opportunity to kind of know who's behind that. And when it comes to doing something like a reward or something like that, it's easy to go out and say, you know what, here's a cool recipe. I'm just going to pass it on to you. It doesn't cost me nothing to do that. Or take pictures of an antique car that somebody might be interested in. Hey, check this out. I saw this weekend, and it just gives us conversation pieces. Then after that, it was more like, what kind of things do you like to eat? That's my favorite question because when it comes to things like birthdays and anniversaries, it's really cool for them to come in one day and there'll be a cupcake on their desk or donuts or whatever they said they like. I wrote it down. I remember it. Some people like things that are crazy, like pickled okra. So they get a pickled okra jar every year. Costs me almost nothing, but keeps them happy and they know to come to expect it at this point.
Oh, that's nice. I know you also asked them if you could change something here, what would you change? What kind of
Mhm.
answers did you get?
Most everybody's first answer was, please get me some help. Three people that ran the business for 2 years, I think they were just getting burned out. They also didn't have a whole lot of management, supervision. They were just running as fast as they could and doing whatever came in front of them.
Yeah.
So other than get them some help, which I did immediately in my first 3 months, I think I'd already hired a couple of people. It was getting things organized. It was so hard to move around in the shop because there was stuff that people were storing from all kinds of departments just all in our way. And so getting down there and cleaning it all out, having them people come get their stuff or, getting rid of it
Yeah.
gave us room and gave us something to be proud of down there. We love taking people on a tour of the shop. As small as it is, it's really cool to take them down there.
Yeah. Now I know you also took a similar relationship first approach with customers. So
Mhm.
how did that help?
A quick little story about that. I still remember the first person that I met with when I got here. And I remember our conversation. I remember her children's names that she told me about and the way she moved up through Vanderbilt. And every time I see her, one of us will remind the other one, yeah, that was your first visit. But
Yeah.
because of that relationship, everything that is remotely interested in print, whether we do it or not, she's always calling me first. The people that work for her are calling me first. And so it built the relationship, which is building the business. And even on the stuff that I cannot do, they never know it. I find somebody who can do it and I get it done for them.
Yeah.
And as far as they know, I did it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That is very important to have those relationships with customers. So how about when a customer has a negative past experience with printing services? How do you turn that into an opportunity?
If that negative experience happened before I came aboard, that's the best feeling in the world. That means that they're giving me a second chance and I didn't have to work for it.
Yeah.
So whatever job or project they need done, first of all, you better believe it's going to be done right and it's going to be done early. And I'm going to deliver that to them just to see the smile on their face when they get it and they know it's right.
I mean, you yourself
Um,
are going to deliver it?
I'm going to deliver it myself. And what that
Yeah.
does is that gives me a chance to get in front of that person for the first time and meet them, have that same conversation with them and build that same relationship with them. And it could be something small. It might be they just ordered a box of business cards. I don't
Yeah.
care because the next order might be, 25 signs or hardback books. It could be anything.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I know we talked before about how your attitude as a director can impact the work environment. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, your team, my team anyway, will feed off of my attitude. If I come in and I look like I'm angry or I've had a stressful day, they feel it immediately and they'll either shy away or it'll bring them down as well. But if I come in and even faking it, acting like I'm in a good mood and smile a little bit, it keeps them going. So they'll feed off of my attitude and I know it before I come in the door. So I try to leave it in the car if I can.
Yeah, and I think that's true for any implant and well, any business actually. The way the manager or the boss approaches things is going to have its impact on employees. Now, as an implant, as all implants know, you have to prove the value of your implant to management. So how do you go about doing that?
Well, I kind of don't like this term as much, but I do it just as I toot my own horn. So, if it's
Yeah,
something really big that happens, I tell people about it. And it could be just walking up to, my boss or the vice chancellor and just letting them know, hey, that's a project that we just did. Whenever I'm giving a tour to anybody on campus, I'm pointing out, hey, we did that. We did that. And it's probably like sounds like a broken record. And then we started an Instagram page, and then every time I do a job that I think would raise some eyebrows with people. Man, I post it on there. I tag their departments and get it going. This fall, I plan on doing something that an idea I picked up from a friend at Oregon State, actually. They, on their Instagram page, have a job of the week that they post out there.
oh,
And the departments have come to expect it, and they always check to see if theirs got selected to
yeah,
be on it. And I just think that's one of the coolest things ever. So that's
yeah,
what I'm going to start on this fall, and I hope it's as successful as theirs was.
yeah. It's a great idea. I remember walking around campus with you, and you pointing to a lot of the the signage here and there that you guys did, and it was very impressive to know that. I remember construction signage. You were one of the first I saw that did that. There's usually plain fencing up around
Yeah,
construction. You came up with the idea of actually printing something that goes on there.
yeah. They came to me and asked me if we could, put the school logo or a QR code for donations on them and everything, and we're like,
Yeah,
why not? So
yeah.
ordered the stuff, printed it, and we do have to send it out to be hemmed because I don't have a sewing machine yet, but.
Uh-huh.
Um, We do that, deliver. Sometimes we hang it, sometimes they want to hang it themselves. So,
Yeah. Well, would you say to implants, and there are still some unfortunately out there who prefer to fly under the radar and
mm-mm.
not let anyone know that they're there.
Yeah, flying under the radar seems to me to be very dangerous. It's almost like maybe you don't have enough pride in your own work to tell people about it, or maybe you're scared that if you try something and you fail, that they're gonna shut you down or something like that. And my mind can't grasp the fact that somebody would shut somebody down for trying something new, but maybe it does happen, and I'm just not part of that. But I want to stay in the front of their eyes so that they know in the future if they try to make a decision to shut us down, we've already proven the value and we're going to keep going. So,
That's the right way to look at it. And I'm always urging managers to report to management, either monthly or every 6 months, send some kind of a report, and you can include all kinds of things in there about your accomplishments. Well, what changes have you brought to the implant since coming there? New equipment and services you've added? I know there have been a number of things.
yeah, so one of the first purchases we made that was a home run was a laser engraver. So before that, we had just an old rotary engraver. It took about 45 minutes to do a couple of name badges. And I saw the Epilogue laser thing at Printing United in Atlanta, and I was amazed at how good it was. So I immediately set up an appointment, went to my vendor, did a tour there, took some files, and it did two name tags in 51 seconds. And I thought, oh, that will pay for itself in payroll alone. So I came back, got permission. They're not very expensive. We made the purchase, got it delivered, and we just started blowing name tags out. And then I thought, well, what else can this machine do? That got us into doing things like awards. We've done some vinyl records where people wanted their departments engraved on vinyl records. It's so there's really no limits other than the PVC material that you can't do in there. So then I also bought a direct-to-film printer and a press so we could start doing t-shirts because I realized that I'm sitting here paying other companies to, do t-shirts and selling them for, 16, $18 a piece, and the other company's doing it for four or five. And so why can't I do that? And
Yep.
so we did that. Another thing we did is we signed up with a promo and swag company. They're kind of local, but they built us a website. They manage the website, and oddly enough, the website is like a door that opens to so many more things that they offer, and that people will call me and they'll see, for example, ink pens on there, and they'll think, "Hey, can I order executive style ink pens or executive notebooks rather than just the ones that were on the website?" I'm like, yeah. And that gets us started on everything. I mean, I've literally sold thousands of different items to different departments just based off of that website.
Wow. And there's probably not a lot of actual work you need to do, right? It's just revenue.
I'm a middleman, but those
Yeah.
people don't know it.
Yeah.
They place an order with me, they get it.
Yeah. That's great. But what do you see as the next big opportunity for Vanderbilt Printing Services?
Well, as soon as I can lock down some space, which tends to be, I think, a problem for all implants, I'd like to get back into direct mail. In the old shop before I was hired, they did that there. It was a big deal. And right now we have to outsource anything we get. I just want to be bringing that back onto campus and just be the single contact for everybody on campus for that. But first thing I got to do is get some space, and then from there I'll be reaching out to some of my colleagues out there that already do direct mail and let them tell me what I need and how many people I need and what my steps are. Maybe bring one in for a visit to help me set things up
Yeah.
because we've not done it with this current staff.
Great idea. Well, I guess the big question, Mike, is would you go back to Kinko's?
Not a chance. Not a chance. As a matter of fact, of the people that I've hired, the six extra people I've hired, I brought them all from the FedEx office or
Oh,
Kinko's.
yeah.
And my name now there is a cuss word, so uh, but
Yeah.
I brought the best with me, so
Oh, nice. Well, Mike, it's been so great to talk to you today, and it's always great to see you at conferences. So, wish you the best with Vanderbilt Printing Services there, and thanks for talking with me.
thanks for giving me the chance.
Thanks for listening to the Implant Outlook podcast.